What's up guys, Anders here with another video. Today marks the start of my first of my renewed beginner and returner series for Black Desert. We're going to go over a lot of topics in this series, but before we do that, I want to thank supporters of this channel. You guys help keep these videos going, so thank you so much for the support. If you want to help out, you can do so by subscribing to the channel if you haven't already, liking or disliking this video, and hitting that bell icon. Bell is good, so please ding the bell to get notified when I upload my next video. Now, as for returning to the game or starting the game fresh, you will be bombarded with a lot of information, most of which will be very confusing, so I want to focus on some things to do as soon as you log in and what exactly this game has to offer you. So after you've made your character, you'll notice there are a lot of channels to choose from. These all take place on the same server, guys, just different instances. You can swap between them anytime with a short cooldown every time you do. Now, some of these channels will be very useful for those coming back into the game or starting the game for the first time, and those channels are going to be called Olvia channels and Seasons channels. Now, Olvia channels are great for people coming back into the game after a long hiatus. They offer you some experience buffs and no PvP policy while you're in those channels, but you are restricted to not being able to level past 61 if you are on those channels. Now, Seasons channels are great for those people starting the game for the first time and maybe returning to the game wanting a fresh start. These season channels can only be accessed by seasoned characters and also include the no PvP policy while you're in them. We are currently in the middle of the autumn season for Black Desert, ending sometime in December, so through that time you can create a character and level up and gear up through the season specific channels at a faster rate than normal. So you make a season specific character and you have season specific gear which increase in power faster than normal, since the resources you need are abundant in these servers and relatively cheap compared to their non-season counterparts. Now, at the end of the season, you go through something called graduation and your gear converts to usable gear outside of the season channels. You also get a reward for completing the seasons, which will help you progress past the season gear. So to give you an idea of having season gear at their maximum level right now will effectively give you enough gear to start grinding the desert endgame areas and start testing out some intro PvP with wars or duels if you wish. Now, you're going to be still far behind on the top 10% of geared players, but it's a good baseline to start from. So that's the difference between Seasons and Olvia. You can choose either. We're going to choose Olvia for now since we are a returning player in this instance. We're going to do Seasons in another video. Now, if you're coming back, you're going to be wherever you left your character, of course. If you are new, you're going to start at the beginning of the main story. So you want to follow the story until you get to this town called Velia. That's where I am right now. Once you get here, we are going to do something very important, and that is turn off all of these annoying notifications that are popping up at the top of my screen. These are other players enhancing and leveling their professions, getting rare items. It's nice to see, but can get annoying after a while. So what we can do is we can go to settings, we can go to the alerts menu and just uncheck everything here. Since we're also here at the settings menu, we can go over a couple of tips to help you guys have a little bit more performance with BDO on your computers. First tip is to go to optimization and turn on hide adventurers if it's not already turned on. This will make other players invisible when your GPU starts to struggle. You want to go to pets and make sure you're only seeing your pets. That's going to help you greatly with FPS. And you want to go to anti-aliasing and turn these off, since AA doesn't really work very well with this game, though you can do some forced AA with the NVIDIA and AMD control panels if you want to get into that, but we're not going to go over that here. In terms of settings, we have lowest optimal being what you want to run if you are, say, on a laptop, and then we have remastered on the other side of the spectrum if you have a very good system. The combat in this game relies on high FPS, and some classes like Warrior, for example, and Dark Knight Awakening rely on high FPS to deal more damage. This is something that is pretty much used by more hardcore PvPers, but if you're new especially, I recommend you run the game however you want, as long as you feel you have good performance and good visual fidelity in the game. The high-end mode is only for screenshots and really for recording maybe AMVs, and that's pretty much it. I don't recommend you use it unless maybe you've just recently bought top of the line PC. Now, as a returning player, pressing B on your keyboard will bring up your mail, and you can find any rewards from login rewards here, as well as silver you have accumulated from your time away. If you're away from a long time, you can accrue up to 100 million silver by the time you come back. If you're new, you will find your login rewards here, and you can go to the reward and attendance reward menu option to see all the different types of login rewards available for you. We currently have a new region login event, so we have the Odalita login rewards, as well as the loyal rewards, which is the standard. And if you're new or returning like I am, then you will have the additional login reward tab for you as well. If you are unsure of what an item does or if it's valuable, which is completely okay, it's especially true with mobile games nowadays, you're inundated with a ton of items that you really don't know what they're used for. It's okay. You can ask me or ask some people in chat to see if it's worth keeping or selling. So now we're going to go over the main thing I want you to think about when playing this game. What exactly is your goal? What do you want to do? If you're new, exploring the world of BDO is an option. The world map is huge, and if you like exploring in games like Skyrim, you can do that here. It's actually very fun to explore, especially areas where the monsters pose a threat to you, so you need to be careful. That's exciting. The ocean is vast, and maybe you want to check out the port at the other side of the ocean. We just received the new elven capital of Adraxia, the Dark Elves, down south, which has a more dark elven and gothic aesthetic. If you like professions in other games, there are a lot of them here. Some more financially viable than others, of course, so you want to check out each one and see which ones you like. In terms of professions, we have gathering, which consists of chopping trees, gathering herbs, collecting blood, and mining. You have processing, that involves taking those raw materials you get from gathering and making them into higher grade materials that are used in cooking, alchemy, and crafting. Fishing is, well, you know, fishing. If you've done fishing in other MMOs or mobile games, it's pretty much the same thing. You can catch a variety of fish and sell them to NPC trade vendors. Hunting allows you to use rifles to hunt different kinds of animals in the world for their meat and leather. Cooking and alchemy are pretty self-explanatory as well. You can cook or brew foods and elixirs that people use or sell them in bulk to NPC vendors. Training involves the taming and leveling of different tier horses, so you can breed different types of horses and try and make dream horses that are these rare horses with special unique characteristics. We currently have 3 dream horses, and they are the Pegasus, the Unicorn, and the Hell Horse. So you have trading as well, which is simply just buying goods from one region and selling it via a wagon to another region, or crafting trading goods in one town to sell them across the world of BDO to another city. You have farming, which relies on you placing fences and growing crops to use for your cooking, your alchemy, or for selling to the markets. And sailing allows you to navigate the oceans faster on your ship. And then bartering, which is kind of linked with sailing. It's basically like trading in the ocean. You use your ship to go from island to island, trading different goods. Now, as far as the ones I'd say currently do the best in terms of money making, they would have to be gathering, cooking, and bartering. Some people don't even do combat in this game, even though this game is kind of known for its combat. They just do professions all day, because professions can be and are for the most part very involved and time consuming. I also want to note that there is no real crafting system like you would see in other MMOs. I mean, you can craft different items and gear sets, but you're not really going to be able to supply or craft gear for other people that they're going to be able to use. You can, though, craft food and elixirs that other players can use. Now, a core concept in this game is enhancing. You may have heard of it. It's full of RNG, so you're going to need RNG to make your gear better. RNG, or random number generator, which is what it means, basically luck, is heavy in most of everything in this game. But since you're coming into a fully mature market now with a very healthy population, Black Desert has been around even on console for a long time now, and it should have a mature market. If you're someone that despises RNG or just luck-based enhancing or luck-based progression, failing a 60% every now and then, like 10 times in a row, that doesn't feel good for you, then that's okay, because there are a lot of people that do enhance and do take those risks and then sell them on the market so that you, who are risk averse, can buy it. So you can avoid the whole enhancing system and not worry about it. I will, however, explain how enhancing works, because you do have to do a little bit of enhancing in the beginning of your progression. You take a base item that you get and you use enhancing materials to attempt to make that base item a higher level. So for example, we can use the weapon Blackstones to enhance this base weapon with a 100% chance to +1 level. We can do the same all the way to +7, and then we see that we no longer have a 100% chance to succeed. If we fail, we will get an increase in our enhancement chance, meaning our next attempt will have a higher chance to succeed. The way you enhance relies heavily on having these failure stacks or fail stacks saved up for those important enhances. So in a strange way, sometimes we want something to fail so that we can attempt something we want to succeed at a higher rate of success. The reason for this is that when we fail, the item loses durability. To repair it, we need repair materials that have a cost tied to the item's rarity. So it is more expensive to repair an item that is a higher rarity than a more common item. The higher rarity item will also have a lower enhancement chance, and in Black Desert there are 20 levels of enhancement. So the first 15 are simply called +1 to +15, and then we have +16 to +20, but they're not called +16 to +20. They decided to call it Pry, Duo, Try, Tet, and Pen, Pen being the max. This works for most items in this game except accessories and some mount gear. Accessories start at base, and then you go to Pry, Duo, Try, Tet, and Pen. You kind of skip that whole +1 to +15, and then mount gear simply has +1 to +10 being the max. Now, one thing to note about enhancing is that after Pry, on most gear you enhance, the level can go backwards. So if you go from Pry to Duo and then you fail to go to Try, you are now back at Pry. That's the lowest you can go. If you're enhancing accessories, and this is just for accessories, if you fail any enhancement at any level, the item will disappear. Like I said, not a good feeling, and if you're not okay with your items disappearing and blowing up, you can always save up some money and buy your next upgrade to avoid enhancing altogether. If you like PvE in the form of killing monsters for a long time, or grinding as we call it, there's a lot of zones for you to grind, and do just that. Grinding in PvE is very lucrative depending on where you're grinding, and is the easiest thing to get into in Black Desert. Now, if you're more of a PvP player, there is no ranked arena system in this game so far. There is, however, a team deathmatch instance system called Red Battlefield that you can join. It will reward you with some money, and there's also a battle arena area that you can join to practice your PvP combos on stick dummies or other players, and there's even a small arena in there with a 1v1 queue system where the winner stays on till they lose, and as a spectator you can see how the match is going. If you're especially interested in PvP, you can also make a trial character which will have some gear and all of the skill points you need to join the Red Battlefield and battle arena. This trial character can't leave these areas, so you can't use these characters for things outside of PvP in those areas, but it serves to help you learn the class you're interested in at a combat level that is kind of adequate, or what you can expect at the end of a season, for example, and give you a taste of what classes can offer you. If you're interested in role-playing, for example, there are some small communities in the game that can cater to that, though I'd say for the most part Black Desert doesn't really have as large an RP community as other MMOs I've played, but they do exist. And if you are into ocean stuff, you can start working on a sailing ship and trade for money as a way to eventually get larger ships called carracks that can be used for ocean trading or piracy. So a bit like Black Flag from the Assassin's Creed series. One last thing I'll mention here in terms of what you can do in this game would be medal chasing. If you see the medals above my head, these mean that I'm in top 5 ranked in those professions on my channel. There exist medals for each profession or life skill, as well as your XP level and your kill count in the Red Battlefield PvP team deathmatch mode. Now, as a new player, you will have to invest a lot of time to eventually be able to get a top 5 rank in these medals, but it is absolutely doable. I'm on Olvia channel, so I have more medals than I normally would if I were on a non-Olvia channel, since obviously I'm a returning player with more experience than most of the people on Olvia channels. Now, Black Desert is notorious for having a fleshed out AFK system. This is both good and bad. Some people say you don't really play Black Desert, which is kind of true. I guess if you don't want to actively play Black Desert, you can do that. A lot of life skills like fishing or training allow you to leave your character doing tasks while you're not actively playing the game. You can even minimize the game to your tray and do your work or go to sleep while the in-game character does whatever task you set it to do. This works for fishing, where your character will continue to fish, although slower than normal, but not terribly slow. It will continue to train your horse as well if you want. Your character can train on a dummy to gain combat experience, or your character can process materials while you're not actively playing. The game does still need to be on, and you sometimes find people doing just that, fishing or horse training. In some ways it's kind of nice because the world feels more lived in, but more and more people are doing it less and less these days, since the amount of money that you get for being AFK or doing AFK activities are not really as crucial as it used to be. 30 million silver overnight is not a ton of money, so if you're worried about leaving your computer on overnight or your console on, does not matter as much these days. But it does allow you, for example, and this is more common than you think, it allows people to actually remote into their desktops from work and set up AFK activities when they're at work, or just check in every few hours from your work PC to make sure the computer is running and that your BDO is still on AFK processing or horse training or fishing or whatever. You can sell some fish and get the character back to fishing while you are busy doing your real life work at your job. That's actually a very common practice. Now, lastly, before I wrap up this video, I want to touch on classes and what classes you should be playing. There is really no simple answer to that question. I am working on a video ranking every single class and every single class spec, so that will be coming very soon. In BDO, the type of content you're doing and what your gear level is strongly affects whether or not a class is good for you or for your goals. There are 20 classes in this game right now on PC. All but 18 of them have 2 specs, Awakening and Succession. That means there are basically 38 classes you can choose from. On console, they just got Succession for a few classes and are missing 1 class still, so the pool is a bit smaller, but the problem is still the same. It's hard to choose 1 class out of so many, especially if you are a flex player or someone who routinely played multiple roles or classes in previous games and MMOs. The idea of a class being good at every aspect of BDO does not exist. There is no class like that. Right now we have Wizard Succession being the best in large group fights, but he's not the best grinder and he's not the best duelist. We have Striker Awakening, who is very good in everything, just not the very best in any one category. Some classes grind better in some areas and others not so much. Some classes are amazing duelists like Kunoichi Succession or Ninja, but without a lot of gear they struggle in large scale fights. Balance changes happen every 6 months as well, so we don't really know where the classes are going to be in 6 months. We just got a ton of changes recently, so for the most part, if you're new to the game, I'll say find out what class you like in terms of aesthetic or style and then work from there. An example of this issue I can give you is like a Ninja versus Guardian. Let's say you choose Ninja because you've heard, and it's true, that Ninja is one of the best duelists in the game, but you're just starting out and you will not be able to beat a veteran Guardian, which in my opinion should always be a straight win for a Ninja. It's a very easy matchup for the Ninja to beat Guardians. You just lack the experience as a Ninja and you probably don't have the gear levels to beat most of the Guardians out there. Now imagine in a typical theme park MMO where you're level 1, you're playing the OP class that just got overtuned, but you're versing someone that has a level 100 undertuned class that no one plays. That level 1 is just gonna tickle the veteran player that's level 100 simply because that's the nature of the game, and it's the same concept here. You don't worry too much about PvP early on. You enjoy the game and see if you can find something you like to keep you playing, and then to eventually do some PvP if you want. You can just avoid PvP altogether. And that's pretty much it for this one, guys. That's just a quick preview of all the things that the game can offer you and what you should do starting out. Like I said, it can be overwhelming, but at least you can now understand what the game has to offer you. I'll be uploading these guide series at least once a week, but if you have any questions, you can reach me on Discord, or if you find me in game, I'll be happy to help you out. Thanks again for watching, guys. Thanks for listening. I'll see you all in the next one. Take care.